It's happened. This one has ended. I feel strange. I feel quite relieved. And we both came to the conclusion on the same day, which is incredibly interesting. And it happened the day of a full moon as well. So lots of shifts, lots of changes, lots of growth, really. This time has been incredibly inspirational. Without a doubt, I have learnt, I can't even say more, but exponentially as I get older, it feels like the experiences that I'm having are really contributing to my character growth. And I wouldn't have been able to see the things, the parts of my personality that I can now, if it wasn't for this time. And my preferences. And by preferences, I mean the things that will do me most benefit. It's not a preference as in like, I would prefer this because it contributes to comfort. It's actually more so, I prefer this because it will adhere to the most growth in me. So although this wasn't what I particularly had in mind for this time, that's okay, because it was an underlying preference that I haven't embodied it as a preference, because there's been some resistance the entire time. What I'm pretty sure has been my intuition has just been like, no, run away, this is a bad place, we don't want to be here, right? And I can understand why, but in the same regard, I am incredibly grateful. And it's not to say I'm not going to be in this position again. It's not like, I've learnt a lesson, I'm never going to let myself, say, fall in love, or I'm never going to live with a partner again, or travel, or anything like that. It's not a never situation, is it? Ever. We can't jump to those conclusions. But what I can do is learn that wherever I am is exactly where I'm meant to be, and that I could probably be a little more open-minded to where I am. Because consistently this whole time there's been that fear, and I've tried to move away from it and tried to be like, well, this is where I am, so relax. But I think that fear was actually, it was the lesson itself. To learn what it feels like to not trust my world. To learn what my body feels like when I'm somewhere I'm more or less at risk, right? I don't think I've been at risk of physical harm, but the mental, emotional damage of lying, I've really had first-hand experience with now. Not only what it does to the people around you when you lie, but also what it does to the self. I'm harboring something at the moment. No lie. Just deceptiveness. Just a lack of clarity. Usually I'd go out of my way to tell anyone that has relevance to everything about my behaviour in relation to them. But I wanted to know what it felt like, and I'm finding out right now what it feels like to be deceptive. It's incredibly empowering to manipulate people around you into thinking something isn't true. Something is true. Telling, or just not telling them something that you've done. As a kid, I kind of grew up with the mentality of, if I don't ask for permission, then they can't say no, which is a bit cheeky. It's nice, isn't it? And I suppose that's quite similar to this situation in regards to, I'm just not telling them, so then now I don't have to face the repercussions. And although, however empowering it is to hide, there's a little ball inside me, and it's heavy, and it's the weight of the truth. It's sitting right in my heart, and I know that it's small at the moment, and I'm currently experiencing that weight to a very small degree. But as time goes on, and as I have more experiences, and as I relate to the person that this actually affects more, that weight will become heavier and heavier. Even this afternoon, when my relationship was ending, so throughout the day I spoke to a friend and said, you know what, I think I'm done. I'm over being deceived. I'm over not having my freedom. I'm over not feeling like myself. I'm sick of pandering to someone else's preferences rather than really running with what I'd like to do in each moment. And that's what I was doing when I went against my partner's preferences too. It was just running with what I wanted to do in that moment. And if that's the life that I want to live, if that's the lifestyle and the types of behaviours that I'd like, then I know very clearly in myself that I shouldn't be in a relationship, because I desire to be self-centered. I desire to have myself as the pivotal point for a period where there's not as much need to compromise and to take someone else's preferences into consideration. It's necessary in regards to like safety, if I'm driving a car and I'm like, no, I'm not going to stop going faster because that's what I want to do right now, and everything pivots on me when someone asks me to slow down. In that regard, I'm more than happy to slow down, right? But when it comes to what I eat and the way I move, the way I interact with others, what I do when I'm on my own, when I enter relationships, it's very often that they have a preference around those things. Not always. There has been some partnerships that don't mind what I do in that time and are happy however I interact with people and have no need to place themselves between me and myself. So there's an offering being made. As this chapter ends, do I let it end suddenly and I head home for Christmas? which is just days away. I think it could be a good idea. And then there's, I'd love to go see my family. I'd love to be there right now. Have a hug and a chat. I don't know if I can get there without being vaccinated, which adds a whole nother thing to the story. Isn't the world weird right now? And I think being like a part of being in this relationship was fear. Fear of being alone in the world. Maybe that's what every relationship has been about. But I've been a bit, how do I describe it? When someone tries to enter a relationship with me, I usually try and convince them not to. I think that's don't know what word to use to describe that. Reluctant, that's one. I've been reluctant to enter a fair few of my past relationships. I fall in love a lot, but I don't feel the need to tie that love to something solid. I like transient love. Love that feels never-ending because it's not attached to anything. It's a place inside me. When I tap into that place inside me, everyone around feels it. And when I can come across someone that's tapping into their place of love, I love it. It feels great. And we can match each other and meet in that place of love and surrender and comfort. So what I hope to do, fingers crossed, is I guess go down south if I can, preferably without a vax. That'd be great. Then maybe ride up to Brizzy. I'll have my P's for a car and a bike by then. And then pick up my things. Decide where I'm going to live next. Most likely out of a car, because who wants to pay rent, right? And I'll see what industry doesn't need vaccines for. Most likely farming, but I'm not sure. We'll see how this goes, right? Wonder if I'm still going to do my personal trainer's course. I think that sounds like a great idea. I can definitely make my own business out of that. What do you reckon? Oh, far out. I feel weird. Really weird. 2 years I've been in this relationship. I've changed so much in that time. Gone through so many fluxes. Changed spots. I mean, really, like, I've moved across the country several times over those 2 years. I don't know about stability. I really don't. I know... Oh, I'm really in a place of not knowing anything right now. Nothing feels solid. All possibilities are opened. Within the realms of the annoying law. I can't just drive off. I can't just ride off. I just spent $600 stocking cupboards for time I'm not going to be here for. Feels a bit stupid. Feels a bit silly. No way, I kept denying that this was going to happen. But knowing it so deeply in my core. Oh well. Everything is nothing, and nothing is everything. I just wanted to capture the cicadas for a bit. They sound very different at this time of year here. I swear they don't usually sound like that. And it's a higher pitched sound than what it is up down south. Time to get to know me again. Without the influence of anyone else. Just me. Well... Okay, a reminder that... Okay, 1, death is transcendence. That's just foundational. Keep that in mind. Death is transcendence. Let go. 2, every time I blink, nothing exists. 3, never have my needs not been met. 4, as they will always be met. 4, follow what makes me happy. 5, not stimulated, but happy. I think it's 5 that I'm up to. Got a bug on my face. Always act from a place of authenticity. As to not pander to what I think other people want from me. Rather a genuine place of honesty. Sometimes that hurts. Mainly other people. My honesty. There we go. That's where something comes in. So before communicating, before communicating honesty, acknowledge the situation the other person is in. Don't cater what you have to say, but rather how you say it. Delivery is important. That's actually probably the biggest lesson I've learned through this relationship, is how important delivery is. Breathe before speaking. There's no hurry. 7. Breathe before speaking. Just breathe. I've learnt so much from this time. But this chapter has ended. He didn't get to meet my family. That's okay. I love him all the same, for exactly who he is, the wisdom that he moves with. 8. I will always love Atticus, beyond belief. I was privileged to stand by his side through this time. So incredibly inspirational. Never have I come across someone with so much determination. So much energy. So much resilience. And I hope I can learn from that. I have learned from it. There is a big goanna that just climbed up the tree. I'll show you. Can I spin you around? No, I can't. Oh well, he missed out on the goanna. We get wild dogs around here, so I wasn't sure if it was one of those. Oh, the cicadas are peeing on me. Time capsule of where I am. how I feel. What I'm thinking. What a beautiful 2 years it's been. What an incredible couple months. What a wild few weeks. What a great few days. Just remember, you got this. You got this. I am also inspirational. I'm creative. I'm loving. I am me. That's all I can be. Good reminders.